Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning. Today is perhaps this will be the last material for the introduction to paragraph. The material that will tell you the theory, will tell you that I will tell you before you write your paragraph in the next meeting. Here, the topic is about paragraph characteristics. So last week in the last meeting, I told you about parts of paragraph, which consists of three things. The first one is topic sentence, and then there is supporting details, okay, or supporting sentences, and the last one is concluding sentence. From the topic sentences that you wrote last week, I still find that some of you are still confused, or maybe still don't understand that topic sentence. So topic sentence should not be too specific or should not be too general. Too specific as example is topic sentence is also consists of only one sentence, so you don't write it in a very long sentence. It's just brief enough to tell the reader that this is the focus of your paragraph. And here are the characteristics of a paragraph, which are four things. The first one is called unity, and then completeness, cohesion, and continuity. Let's just start from the very first one, is the unity. So here, unity means discussing only one idea. So let me give this one. Okay, only one idea in the paragraph. So again, your topic sentence will need consist of three things, I think. Also, the first one is topic, and then controlling idea, and the last one is point of view. But let's just focus on the first two things in topic sentence. The first one is topic, and then controlling idea. So this controlling idea help the topic sentence to focus, to tell the reader that this is the thing that I will explain. This is the thing that the writer will explain in his or her paragraph. So this one idea is the only things that will be mentioned in the supporting sentences. Okay, so please remember that. If a sentence in the paragraph does not relate to the topic sentence, it's called that it's irrelevant, okay, and should be deleted. Okay, this is one characteristic that is frequently ignored by a beginner, perhaps because they do not do it in purpose. Like, it's just an unconscious mistake, because they thought that this sentence is a part of the topic. But then if you read it again, the whole paragraph, you will find that certain sentence might not be might not support the topic sentence that you have written on the first one, at the beginning of the sentence. So for example, like this: if the topic sentence states the paragraph is about advantages of CDs over cassette tapes, then talk only about advantages. Okay, talk only about advantages, not disadvantages. So this is one example of unity in a paragraph. Okay, discussing the disadvantages does not support the topic sentence and should not be included in the paragraph. Yeah. This may happen. Yeah. So lack of unity may also occur if the writer adds too much to the topic. So for example, in the following topic sentence, the two biggest problems facing most candidates for public office are lack of money and lack of public exposure. Only these two things should be discussed in the paragraph. Okay. So if there is a sentence about candidates' inability to garner the public confidence is included, then it's irrelevant, because again, it is just about lack of money and lack of public exposure, bukan tentang ketidakmampuan kandidat itu dalam mendapatkan kepercayaan publik. Okay, so this is example of unity. That means again, there should not be any irrelevant sentences in your paragraph. Ini ada di bawah, nanti kamu baca sendiri di PDF-nya, terus share di grup. Yang mana sih menurut kamu yang harusnya dihilangkan dari paragraf ini, ya. Ini ada irrelevant sentences di dalam. Lanjut yang kedua, kita percepat aja. The first one, karena kamu because you need to write something today. Okay, the second one is completeness. So completeness is similar to unity, and except that completeness ensuring that all necessary supporting sentences are included to fully explain and support the topic. So in unity sama lah ya, tapi in unity there should not be irrelevant sentences. In completeness, what you mention in your topic sentence then should be included in the paragraph. So for example, okay, if topic sentence states that three things are needed to obtain a visa, that means in the paragraph you have to mention three things. Do not just mention two things, because you said in your topic sentence you will mention three things. Okay, that's the example of completeness. Another example is if a topic sentence promising to list the steps, okay, like steps to change a flat tire, that means all the steps, okay, must be included. For example, kita masak mie aja ya, misalnya to serve instant noodle, for example, and then you forget to mention that you have to stir the noodle for 3 minutes before take it off from the stove. That means there is no completeness in your paragraph because you miss one step. Itu ya yang dimaksud dengan completeness. So all the steps, okay, ini maksudnya all the steps needed, okay, must be included. That's example of completeness. The third one is cohesion. Ini yang I don't know in what class, but there was one student asked about how to write a good paragraph where I don't know the exact sentences, but yeah, this is what she asked. If I'm not mistaken, she asked about cohesion. So how to write a good flow, how to make a good flow in writing a paragraph. Yeah, this is what you need. Okay, so this is what it means. She asked. So cohesion is the smooth, continuous flow of thoughts, okay, of sentences and ideas presented according to some logical principle. Okay, so some logical principle. Jadi by cohesion help us to understand understand the flow of the paragraph. Okay, so it helps us to follow the sentence from the beginning until the concluding sentence. Okay, that's cohesion means. Inilah example-nya aja ya. So for example, if the paragraph is about how to change a flat tire, okay, so that means you have to mention from the very first step until the last step. Okay, do not so for example like this, if you want to again to serve instant noodle to your friend, and then you write how to cook instant noodle, and then you say pertama misalnya ya didihkan air gitu ya, and then what else, and then langsung serve the noodle, ya itu kan tidak mungkin, okay, because there are some steps before you serve the noodle, ya kan. So you have to wait for the water to boil, and then you mix the ingredients and the noodle, and then blah 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 blah. Okay, to cook the noodle for 3 minutes at least. Nah itu kan that are the some steps. But then if you then belum apa-apa tiba-tiba langsung bilang serve the noodle, itu enggak karena enggak benar, karena dia enggak berurut. Okay, and then here it says that the principle used in ordering of the sentence within a paragraph, it will depend on the kind of paragraph is written. Okay, Chronological ordering is appropriate for narrative. Like from apa, for example, the life of a prince, a charming prince. You start from when he was born, when he was a kid, when then he started to learn uh, about sword fighting, for example, and then he's getting bigger, and then he met a beautiful girl. Yeah, there is a chronological order. So what is happened first, and then so for that, of course, you will use time order. Okay, um, and then for the descriptive paragraph, for example, use spatial ordering to ensure cohesion. So in descriptive paragraph, you describe something, right? So for example, you describe a room. You want to describe us about your favorite park, for example. Then the way you write your paragraph so that it has a cohesive, okay, it should start from, for example, from the top, for example, and then go to the bottom. So not like uh, apa ya, at the top left, and then you go to the middle, and then you go back to the top, and then you go back, and then you go again to the bottom. Tidak seperti itu. Jadi flow-nya ya kayak gitu. Jadi kayak you ini ada sih disebut di sini ya. Ini from left to right, top to bottom, front to back, and etc. Okay, jadi tidak tidak kayak zigzag gitu ya, tapi ada patternnya yang membuat kemudian ketika kita membaca, oh ya, kita bisa membayangkan bahwa letaknya seperti ini, tidak tidak dari tadi yang saya bilang, tidak dari ujung atas langsung ke tengah, balik lagi ke belakang, terus ke depan, terus ke samping lagi ya gitu, tidak. But then mungkin dari kiri ke kanan, lalu ke bawah, tengah, dan ya, it's example of descriptive paragraph ya. And then principle of logic or reason, it is used for expository paragraph, okay, which arrange the sentences into a logical pattern. So here, for example, if you want to write about how to play a game, okay, then in the logical order, then you have to explain first about the object, and then what materials are needed, and then the rules of the game. Apa ya kalau ini? It's just like some of you write about games when you were a child, right? So you want to mention one name of the game. So of course the first one you have to explain as what the game is about, and then mungkin nanti, and then how many people will have to play, and then do you need some equipment to play the game, and then how then you play the game, like this, the rules of the game. So this is the example. Ya mirip seperti itu ya. To ensure cohesion, this is the question that was asked by one of your friends last week. To ensure cohesion, transition words are used to connect the gaps between sentences in paragraph. Usually, transition words are at the beginning of a sentence to relate a sentence to the one preceding it, but transition words can come within sentences to connect one idea to another within a sentence. I If you still remember the previous material before you had your mid-test, there is a compound sentence, right? So in the compound sentence, there are three things to combine the clauses. The first one by using semicolon without any conjunction, and then the second one you can use comma, and then you use conjunction fun boys, so for and, but, or, yet, and so. And the last one, you use transition words, so that those transition words are the same in here, but here you will get a lot more of example of transition words. Okay, so again, and last week, if I'm not mistaken, I gave the answer to your friend that you have to stay focused on the topic sentence, because again, that's the point when you write a paragraph, and then the second one, use conjunction. This is what I mean. Okay, so that there is a flow in your in your sentences. So it's not just like the sentence will stand by themselves. seperti tidak ada kaitannya dengan kalimat sebelumnya, jadinya kayak choppy sentences ya, if you still remember about choppy sentences, jadinya kayak berdiri sendiri. A cat is good for pets. A cat is funny. A cat is playful. Yeah, is playful. A cat can be a good friend. A cat blah blah, itu kan it you know, when you read it, you know that the sentences feel like it just stand by themselves without having any connection to the rest of the sentences in that paragraph. So that's why you will need conjunction, you will need transition words, so that to make all the sentences kinda have connection, seperti apa ya bahasanya, kayak rantai gitu, jadi ada kaitannya satu sama lain. The last characteristics of a paragraph is continuity. So continuity is the combined inclusion of the three characteristics mentioned above: unity, completeness, and cohesion. Which means, okay, having all three characters like unity, completeness, and cohesion ensure that the connection between ideas presented is smooth and even. So for a paragraph to have a continuity, it must have all the three characteristics. So if a paragraph lacks of unity, it means it has no continuity. If a paragraph lacks of completeness, then it has no continuity. So, ya intinya continuity ini merangkum ketiga itu. So if you lack one of the three, then it has no continuity. Okay, so that's the four characteristics of the paragraph. So the first one is unity, where all the supporting sentences that you will use in your paragraph should support the topic sentence. If there is a relevant sentence, then you have to delete it. Okay. The second one is apa tadi? Selain cohesive, completeness. Okay, so completeness means if you want to mention about three disadvantages, then you have to mention all the three disadvantages. Okay, if you want to explain about a game, for example, then you have to make sure that you explain the game in a good way so that the reader can understand what kind of game that you explain. Okay, and the last one is cohesion. Sorry, not the last one. The third one is cohesion, means the flow of your sentences should be good so that the reader can read your sentences in a apa ya, in a good logical principle. Okay, and the last one is completeness, of course, which is the inclusion of the three characteristics. So those are the four characteristics of a paragraph. Now here there is more about cohesiveness that can be told to you. So as previously noted, one characteristic of a good paragraph is cohesion, where sentences that stick together in supporting topic sentence. Okay, so here in the more on cohesiveness, the writer of this PDF tells you share some kind of things. Here he mentioned about 5 devices, okay, that you can use to connect your sentences together to ensure about cohesion. So they are first the use of personal pronoun, okay, and then demonstrative pronouns, and then there is the definite article, and then use of synonyms, and then linking or transitional words. So there are many ways. First one is personal pronoun. Personal pronouns, of course, pronouns, yeah, like he, she, like you, we, they. So they are personal pronouns. There is also you, me, okay, him, her, them, us. So those are pronouns. So use them, make use of those pronouns in your writing. So that the first thing that I always tell you, that to avoid repetition, okay, to avoid repetition. Besides, when you use personal pronouns, it shows the connection between the sentences, because we know that the pronoun that you use in the second sentence refer to something in the first sentence. Ya, jadi makanya dikatakan personal pronouns itu penting. It says that words that refer back to and substitute the noun. we call antecedents. So for example, like this one, cats are good for pets. Okay, titik. And then they, okay, they can be a good friend. They can be good friends to play with. They in the second sentence refer to the cats, right? That you mentioned in the first sentence. So that the cats in the first sentence is called the antecedent. Itu, ya. So here is example. The rich European might the sports car in the show window. He decided to buy it. So here di sini kan jelas yang dimaksud adalah subjeknya, lalu it di sini yang dimaksud adalah mobilnya. Jadi this shows that the second sentence is connected to the first one. The next one. So here is an example of a paragraph if you don't use personal pronoun at all. So the rich European admired the sport cars in the show window. The rich European had always wanted to buy a sports car. In the rich European's mind, owning a sport car can represent success and achievement. Being quite wealthy, the rich okay, there are too many repetition of the word the rich European and then the word sports car. It's kind of awkward. Okay, agak apa ya? Bukan awkward sih. It's strange to read this kind of paragraph because too many repetition. Okay, and then the next one is the use of demonstrative pronoun. Demonstrative pronouns are this one. Okay, this, that, these, those. So this is for this and that are for singular. These and those are for plural noun. Again, this is used for the thing that is near you, and then that is used for noun that is far from you. Okay. So for example here, please note the Yankees baseball cap in the display case. This cap was worn by Babe Ruth in the World Series. There is this cap. This cap yang mana? This cap that is in display case. Okay. So here is example again of the use of demonstrative pronoun. I think you already know about this one. Jadi jelas bahwa this cap ini topi yang dimaksud bukan topi yang dimana dipajang di mana, tapi yang dipajang di display case yang merupakan Yankees baseball cap. Okay. The next one is the definite article. So here, definite article is here, the. Okay. So just like pronouns, before using the definite article, it must be preceded by noun. Yeah, because the will refer to the noun. I bought an album yesterday. The album, what album? The album that I bought yesterday was by the Beatles. I want to tell you a secret. The secret is about, the secret is about your friend. So what is the secret? It's the secret that I want to tell you about. So itu yang dimaksud dengan definite article the. Okay. Maybe you can find by yourself, because actually the use of there are some rules to use this one. The definite article the in a sentence. There are some words where you must include the word the, like when you say the United States, the Great Britain. Those are sentences that have to use the. Ada juga kata-kata yang memang part of the name, so you cannot delete the. Itu ada aturannya gitu ya. Silakan dicari. But therefore writing, this is the function of banyak banget deh ini. The function of the, where this article can help you to make your paragraph be cohesive. Yeah. And the next one is the use of synonyms. Okay, so the use of synonyms means to enable the writer to add variety in his writing. Okay, and so to prevent repetition. So And this paragraph below, the writer used some words that are synonyms of car. So Bob purchased his first car. So this is the first car that he used at the age of 17. The vehicle here, vehicle is one of the word. Walaupun vehicle belum tentu car ya, tapi yang dimaksudnya kendaraan. Was an old clunker. So here he uses the word old clunker. Lalu ada automobile. So here are two words. They may refer to the word car here, but then he tried to make it more various, ya, supaya kelihatan bagus tulisannya, atau mungkin lebih lebih apa ya, lebih kelihatan levelnya berbeda gitu ya, daripada repeated terus kata yang sama seperti itu. But then you have to be careful for this one. Hati-hati jangan sampai kemudian you use the words that it sounds similar, it seems similar, but actually they must be used in different context. Hati-hati aja, ya. The last one is the use of linking or transitional words. Okay, so transition words, if you still want to ask, what are they? They are words that link ideas or sentences together and show the relationship between them. Ya, sebenarnya mirip, sebenarnya sama dengan conjunction ya. Bedanya transition words itu it included a word that apa ya, you can put at the beginning of a sentence to connect two different independent clauses. Okay. Kalau conjunction kan, kalau for example coordinate conjunction itu kan menghubungkan dependent and independent. So here it says that transition words can be divided into 6 groups. This one is, you need to read carefully for this one because these 6 groups have different meanings. Okay, like indicate addition, repetition, or intensification. Then here are the words. Also another indeed first. Sorry. And then indicate comparison, contrast, and contradiction. However, I don't know why there's nevertheless here. As long as I know nevertheless is for contradictions, but then you may find what is another meaning of nevertheless. Okay, either instead looking at the blah at the try to do something else, for example, like that. Okay, comparison. There is indicate a time or space relationship. Here they are. Beyond, across, meanwhile. Transition which limit or prepare for example. Okay, indicate a cause or result. Jadi harus ada memang sebab akibat di situ, ada hasilnya, resultnya. Okay, and transition obvious truth of or grant a position undoubtedly, surely, doubtless, of course, in fact. Okay, obvious truths. So here are the words that you can use. Adakah yang lain? Tentu masih banyak yang lain. Okay, so you can find it by yourself. All the lists of conjunctions or transitional words in English, you can find it in Google. Banyak pasti. Yeah. Jadi when you use these two words, you have to make sure that the sentences that you want to connect has this relationship. Karena sekali lagi, kemarin ketika kalian when you wrote the sentences, some of you I mentioned that ini conjunctionnya tidak tepat karena dia kamu terlalu Indonesia gitu ya. Karena kadang kalau again when you write think like English, don't think like Indonesian, because again the language that you want to use in your writing is English. So think like that. Jadi mas pastikan bahwa dua kalimat itu memang maknanya, hubungannya jelas. Jangan pakai jangan pakai and, tapi ternyata di situ harusnya because. Ya. And itu untuk again additional, ya, additional. Sedangkan because itu untuk sebab akibat. Ya. Pokoknya adalah kemarin yang saya dapat. Ya. Jadi kalau Anda merasa silakan ya koreksi diri. Okay, itu untuk transition words. Yeah, I think that's all untuk characteristics of paragraph. Intinya sebenarnya ada 4, singkat aja kan. Unity, completeness, cohesion, and continuity. So please understand this one, so that therefore when you write your paragraph later, tidak perlu ada apa ya, you can avoid this. You can include these 4 things and avoid things that are irrelevant or are not good, uh, that are not, that will make your paragraph not good. Okay, I think that's all for today. Again, if you still confused or you have question, you can ask in the group. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning.